What if you could actually get addicted to studying? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But today, we're going to break down a really powerful routine that's designed to do just that, to rewire your brain so you start to crave learning and, start getting those top grades. Let's get into it. And yeah, this quote on the slide just hits the nail on the head. This isn't about willpower. It's not about forcing yourself through another study session you hate. No way. This is about a fundamental shift that makes learning feel genuinely rewarding. And that's the most important part. So, how is any of this even possible? Well, to understand the secret, we first need to talk about a very common enemy. A dopamine trap that honestly most of us fall into every single morning, probably without even realizing it. Okay, so it all starts with this idea of a dopamine baseline. You can think of it like your brain's default setting for motivation. When your dopamine is just chillin' at this natural, stable level, activities like studying don't feel like this huge, impossible task. They can actually feel, well, interesting, even enjoyable. But here is the big mistake. This is where it all goes wrong. The moment we wake up, what's the first thing so many of us do? We reach over and we grab our phones. That one single action kickstarts a chemical reaction that can literally sabotage your focus for the entire rest of the day. And this slide lays it out perfectly, the two paths your morning can go down. So on the left, that's the typical morning. You grab your phone, you get this huge fake dopamine spike from social media or whatever, and then you crash, hard, and studying feels impossible. But now, look at the right. By just avoiding your phone, your dopamine stays stable. And that sets the stage for studying to feel, actually engaging. So how do those top students always seem so focused? Well, it's because they don't fall into this trap. Instead, they understand this whole dopamine cycle, and they actively use it to their advantage. They protect their morning baseline like it's a fortress. By staying away from those easy, cheap dopamine hits from their phone, they let the act of studying itself become the reward. It's just classic delayed gratification, right? You save the fun stuff, like gaming or scrolling, for after the important work is done. Okay, so that's the theory, but how do you actually do this? How do you put it into practice? It all comes down to an incredibly simple two-step routine you can start literally tomorrow. And that's really it. The entire routine is just these two steps. The moment you get out of bed, you meditate for a few minutes. Then, the second you're done, you go directly to your desk and start studying. I mean it. No checking your phone, no making coffee, no detours. But why meditation? You might be thinking it's just about relaxing. But in this routine, it actually has two incredibly powerful jobs to do to get your brain ready for some serious work. First, it's basically a mental reset button. It helps clear out all that clutter, all those distracting thoughts, and it stabilizes your dopamine right back at that crucial baseline. Second, it primes your mindset. It's your chance to consciously focus on your goals for the day and remind yourself why you're about to do this work in the first place. And this part is absolutely critical. You have to jump on that clear, primed state of mind right away. Don't let any other task get in the way. Your mind is ready for focus, so you go straight to the work. Breakfast, getting dressed, all of that can wait. So we've got the mindset, we've got the two-step routine, but this entire system, it all really hangs on one single golden rule. If you forget everything else from this, remember this one thing. So what is it? What's that one change that makes the biggest difference of all? It's this simple: don't touch your phone. The single most powerful, most important action is actually an inaction. Just leave it alone, period. And yeah, that means everything on the phone. No checking social media, no reading your messages, no scrolling through emails. Any app that gives you that quick, easy hit of dopamine is completely off limits until your actual work is done. And this quote just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. We always think that being productive is about adding more stuff, more complex systems, more life hacks. But sometimes the best strategy is way, way simpler. Just remove the biggest thing that's getting in your way. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful idea. See, the goal isn't to force yourself to study. It's to engineer your mornings so that studying becomes the path of least resistance, the easiest option. When you take away all the cheap distractions, what's left? Only the important work, sitting right there in front of you.